Time once again for That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly. That Business Show gives a voice to Tampa Bay's entrepreneurial community and highlights our community leaders, aiming to inspire and educate our listeners. Become a part of the entrepreneurial movement today by becoming a member of the Tampa Bay Business Owners and get your brand on air today. Visit TampaBayRadio.com for more information. All shows available on demand. Now, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. We appreciate all the listeners out there tuning in each and every morning live on 1250 WH&Z, and also all the people listening across the globe on different podcasting outlets. We're on a variety of them now, from iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play. A lot of different places to find good audio content out there. And so if you're taking the time to listen to these programs, we greatly appreciate it. Keep in mind, you can see the live video stream each and every morning at TampaBayRadio.com. Just scroll down part way down the page and you'll see a button that says Watch Live Video, and you can catch the live video stream, and also made available shortly thereafter the airing of each show over at youtube.com/Jamie Maloney. In studio with Kelly Wilson, owner of Edge Business Community and Edge Business Magazine. Kelly, good morning to you.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday.
Thank you so much. And a couple of more days till Christmas. Are you ready for Christmas?
No, not completely, but Friday's my plan to kind of finalize everything that I need for the Christmas weekend. I am excited. I love the holidays. I love Christmas time and the Christmas miracles that happen at the I'm waiting. That's your leeway, Jamie. Go ahead.
I'm a Festivus miracle, man. Like I said, I take my cue from Seinfeld and stuff. We've covered that a few times.
I've learned about Seinfeld this week a lot. Yeah.
Festivus miracle, yes.
And the grievances.
Airing of grievances, yes.
I do think that's kind of clever. So we could do some of that if you want. I don't know. No, it's kind of funny. But I'm excited. What about you?
No plans right now. So probably just spending it doing some work and everything. Parents up north, and I don't have a big family down here, so I'll probably stop by a friend's house or something.
And you sent me a picture last night of what your parents sent you, and that is such a, they said proud of our son, and it was, so in case your parents are listening,
yes,
he did send me a photo of that, and there was a beautiful plaque with Jamie's accomplishments for the year, and there were
the combined brands, yes, the Edge brand,
real
the
estate, and even reference to real estate.
Yeah, the three different brands that I am involved in, from Coldwell Banker as a realtor, the radio show, That Business Show, Tampa Bay Business Owners, and now with Kelly and Edge. And
it said, we are proud of you, Mom and Dad.
And so is a plaque that they put all together with a picture and sent it down to me in a frame. So thank you, Mom and Dad, if you are listening.
Having parents that are passed away and not having them around anymore, you are one lucky man to have parents.
Yes, they are good parents and everything. So, so they are listening. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for that. We got a good discussion. It's not Working Women Wednesdays this week. Jessica and her gang are on vacation this week. So we've got Michael Parise in studio with us today. He is a life and spirit coach and spent 32 years in the Catholic priesthood. So this is going to be an interesting discussion because he had to leave the priesthood after 32 years because he is a gay man, and was obviously that's not accepted in the Catholic priesthood. And so I'm very interested in hearing his story today. So let's welcome Michael into the discussion this morning. Michael,
good morning, Michael. Welcome.
Thank you, Jamie and Kelly. It's great to be here.
We're glad you're here.
And so I first have to begin with this because I've heard you speak a few times, and you're very open about your past and your sexuality. But 32 years in the priesthood, tell us about when you became to accept who you were as a gay man and having to make that transition out of the priesthood.
Well, I want to make something clear that I didn't leave the priesthood because I was a gay man.
Okay.
That was one factor, but it wasn't the top factor. I became aware of being gay when I was about 25. In my generation, people didn't talk about such things, and I wasn't even aware of it when I was a teenager. So as I was in my mid-20s, I came to a realization, I guess I'm gay, but being a celibate, it was okay. I was going to be a celibate priest, and it wasn't going to be a big issue. As time went on, it became more of an issue, especially after the sex abuse crisis in the Archdiocese of Boston, when a lot of gay men were being accused of being pedophiles by bishops and by other people, which wasn't really an accurate statement. A pedophile is a completely different animal from a gay person. So that kind of disheartened me a great deal, and also how the church dealt with the sex abuse crisis before, during, and after, for many decades, and the realization that children were being put at risk, and we weren't aware of it as priests.
And so was that one of the primary factors then for leaving the priesthood, was the sex abuse scandal before the issues with you being a gay man in the priesthood? So that was the primary driver, you would say?
It was a primary driver. It kind of was a catalyst in around the early 2000s for me to really wonder, what is the church all about? And am I involved in an organization that is not aware of what's important and central in protecting children and people in need? A second reason I left the priesthood was the lack of leadership in general in the church. I had a vision for the church that I thought was based on the gospel, and I realized more and more that the institution of the church focused primarily, it seemed, on institutional issues. They were more concerned with keeping money flowing, keeping bills paid, making sure parishes were taking up the right collections and all that sort of thing. And there was, I found, very little support for individual priests' gifts to be used in a creative way to expand and promote the gospel.
It seems to me that the Catholic Church is still a very powerful organization, but you're saying, though, its power is diminishing and weakening because of lack of leadership inside of the church?
The lack of leadership has influenced the way in which the average priest does his work. Because there is a shortage of priests, the church is consolidating more and more so that parishes are being bundled together under one pastor, which is creating a real problem for pastors who can only stretch themselves so far.
Well, and it sounds like you're not really able to release any of your individuality. So even as thinking as a business owner, entrepreneur, you can work amongst others, but you want your own personal to shine. You want to be able to put your own 2 cents in it and it be somewhat of yours too, and have a say so of how you grow. And it sounds like you weren't able to do that. They kind of you're supposed to just abide by the ways of the church.
Exactly, Kelly. There's a way of dealing with the parish, and you were supposed to stay within those parameters. If you went outside of those parameters and people started writing letters of complaint, bishops got upset. They don't want to deal with people having complaints.
It seems like they could have grown, though, and have learned if they would take all the brilliant minds of, like yourself and bring you all together, the church could have grown. You could all have grown together.
I agree. Listening to priests who are trained and I'm trained in many areas of theology as well as spirituality, but also listening to lay people and finding out what they really are looking to do. And they do have councils of people, of lay people to talk to, but the question really is, are they listening to everything that's being said?
Sounds like they're more set in their ways of.
Now you left the Catholic priesthood, but did you leave spirituality? Because you hear different things, and I'm not a highly spiritual person, but you hear being gay is wrong in the eyes of God. Others will say it's accepted. I really don't know what to believe because I hear so many different things coming from so many different sources. How do you respond to that, or how would you advise on that?
I didn't leave behind spirituality. I left behind ministry as it's defined by the Catholic Church, especially in the Boston area. Being gay is not in and of itself wrong, but it is considered officially by the church's teachings a disorder. It's not according to the order of things as God created humanity. That's the official line. So that the only acceptable gay person is the celibate gay person, which of course is unrealistic. In my estimation, gay people who fall in love are supposed to remain apart and just keep to themselves, essentially, which is not something that I think is charitable or realistic. So being gay myself, as many gay priests I knew, we did our best to be celibate. Some gay priests, as well as straight priests, got into affairs or relationships with adults along the way. There are statistics that show that a good percentage of priests who are celibate have been in and out of relationships like that. the real problem about being gay is that you had to keep it a complete secret. You couldn't even use the term that I was gay, or I had to say I could say I was homosexually oriented or attracted to same-sex people, but even that would have caused scandal. So I had to keep a complete quiet atmosphere about that.
In your opinion, why is celibacy so important to the church? Why couldn't you love a man or a woman for that matter and have your own family and life, but still devote yourself to the Lord? Why is that?
Well, it's entirely possible because the Eastern Orthodox priests marry before they get ordained, and we are very much in tune with them. There are even Catholic priests who are married and then get ordained, such as people who are formerly in the Lutheran or Episcopalian or Anglican traditions.
You see those in other religions, so why
Sure.
is it with
It's
the
money.
Catholic not-
I hate to say it, but I believe it's money.
I've heard that before where people, or I've read articles that the Catholic Church wants celibacy so they don't have to support the entire family of the priest. That way, if you're an individual, they don't have to support a wife and kids and all that other.
Exactly. They would have to triple the salary of a priest.
So it has nothing to do really with the will of God. It comes down to a business decision.
Exactly. It is a discipline or a law of the
I have
church.
never-
It is not
Wow.
a teaching of God. And even the church teaches that it could change tomorrow. That law could change tomorrow. It was a man-made law that was instituted in the 12th century.
Interesting factor, but I had heard that, and I'm glad to have it validated by a priest. I didn't know if that was just hearsay, but it's an actual.
I was
business.
hesitant to ask it at first,
It was a business decision to you not have to
did not
fund
know
the entire family.
And part of the business is also to be of service to everybody 24/7.
to be a servant in a sense. So if you had your own family, you would be preoccupied making sure that they were okay and not necessarily those of the church or
Exactly.
right. So
Now, did you find yourself having to counsel your parishioners about people that came to you and say, "I'm gay, I'm confused, I don't know what to do"? Did you find yourself in those situations where you had to talk to people in confessions, and how did you handle those types of situations?
Well, on several occasions that was true. It was usually in confession, and it was a situation where I would be very affirming to the person and just say, just go with what God is giving you in your heart. Be careful about getting involved with people who may hurt you. And that sort of advice was something that I would give to people. But it happened very rarely because most gay people knew what the church's teaching was and was very reluctant. They were very reluctant to talk to a priest about it. And so part of the reason I left also was that after the scandal and with everything else that went on in the church, I was getting fewer and fewer people wanting to even talk to me as a priest because they were reluctant to trust themselves with an institution that seemed to be so confused with regard to protecting children, for example.
And you left and you went into coaching, or was there an interim? Was there other business that you went into? Or is it possible, why did you not just leave the Catholic Church and become a pastor in another theology, for instance?
Yes, that's a good question. I left it with a leave of absence for a year, and after that year, I decided just to leave altogether. When you leave the priesthood, you leave with no hope for any pension. Even though I was ordained for 32 years, I'm not going to be getting any financial remuneration from the church, and got nothing when I left as well.
you have to be celibate and you don't get a pension.
Well, you got to wait till you got to
you
get
get
to
a
age
pension.
75. You
You
have
have to wait till you're 75 to get the pension.
Okay.
It's a lot of work.
It's a long time. And I could have gone into other ministry, but I was really burnt out in ministry in general, so I didn't want to go back into ministry per se. I wanted to get into something that was going to use my gifts, especially my gift of intuition and empathy, and really help people individually to move forward in their lives. And life coaching was a great area for that.
Hold that point there. We got to take a break, but I want to get into your business now, which is life coaching. And again, currently talking to Michael Parise, who is a life and spirit coach, and also author of the book Life Interrupted: Taking Charge After Everything Has Changed. So we'll talk about that as well when we come back from the break. Learn more about his services also at parisecoaching.com. Parise is spelled P-A-R-I-S-E. Again, P-A-R-I-S-E. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com. If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
The morning crash investigation continues on northbound Dale Mabry at Waters. All northbound lanes are blocked at this intersection. Also delays on Waters east and westbound, so just avoid it if you can. Also, we've got slow traffic on westbound I-4 approaching 275. Crash on Hillsborough near the Veterans Expressway, and one in Pinellas County on US 19 at Mainland. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. MAD is here to help. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. That's MADD.org.
Today, mostly cloudy with lower humidity, high 76. Tonight, cooler, low 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and pleasant with a high 75.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Talking with Michael Parise, a life and spirit coach, and learn more about him at that website, parisecoaching.com. And so, Michael, you're a life coach now, so let's take the discussion in that direction. How do you describe your coaching practice?
Yes, I help people who are drowning in responsibilities at home and at work. When you're feeling that way, you're not going to be at your top of your game. And I help people find their priorities, straighten them out, get a sense of peace, and allow them to know that they can move forward. So I really help them take charge of their lives. And I also particularly help them take charge of their lives after everything has changed somehow. And there are so many changes that take place in their personal and professional lives every day that sometimes those changes have a huge impact and they need help moving forward.
Was this also a consistent thing that you heard from your parishioners in church, that just people are just overwhelmed in our culture, and this was a skill that you also developed? I mean, you spent 32 years in the priesthood. You've given countless sermons, had countless one-on-ones with people via confessionals and in the priesthood, and it's just a skill or something, an opportunity that you saw in the marketplace that was needed.
Yes, yeah, definitely. As I myself was overwhelmed with the responsibilities of leaving the priesthood, of figuring out what I was going to do with my life, of dealing with major change, and of realizing that the world had moved in a direction that I didn't even know about after the priesthood in terms of the workforce, and how important it was to be retrained to take on new responsibilities.
That's interesting you say that. So did you feel kind of lost when you left the priesthood and coming back into the world of entrepreneurism, that you felt disconnected?
Yes. Well, I had first gotten a job as an executive assistant and realized that administration had shifted dramatically from what I was used to, and really couldn't hack the job. I had 3 months of sitting behind a computer answering emails and phones and shredding paper, and I couldn't believe that this is what my life was going to be like, and I didn't realize this is the way most people's lives are, and that really shocked me into reality.
I would think you would be a great influence on others, where I know I've heard you speak before as well, and I've spoken a lot in my life in regards to rerouting is kind of what I refer to it when you're in a life in a career that you're not happy with, and you feel like you're off path somehow, and the strength that it takes to reroute and really put yourself back on path. What I have realized from talking to many others is that they don't have the strength or the courage to reroute. Many people stay and accept their lives as they are, or as it is. And it takes immense strength to really to have that faith and hope and within ourselves to move forward. And with you having the 32 years, and then like I said, rerouting and making a new life for yourself.
How long?
I would think you'd be a great influence to help others.
How long was that decision to leave the priesthood? Was it a multi-year process to kind of come to terms with that you were leaving? Was it an instantaneous decision? How was that?
Yeah, as I look back, it's only when you look back. It was an instantaneous decision practically when it actually happened in 2009. But as I look back, it was a 10-year period of slowly wondering, what am I doing with my life, and am I going in the right direction? And so it did take a great deal of time and gradual effort, allowing myself to kind of absorb what was happening around me and within me. That takes discernment, it takes time, and as Kelly says, it takes a great deal of stamina and perseverance. And so until finally it came to a head.
Again, currently talking to Michael Parise. He is a life coach, and learn more at parisecoaching.com. And again, also author of the book, Life Interrupted, Taking Charge After Everything Has Changed. And when we come back from the break, we're going to cover some of the tips and takeaways from his book. Learn more about this program also at TampaBayRadio.com, and also connect with us all across social media. We're on pretty much every outlet out there. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Hi, I'm Kelly Ham from Bill Meyer Ham Consulting. Did you know that one of the biggest challenges that leaders face is getting their employees to be engaged, motivated, and producing amazing business results? At Bill Meyer Ham Consulting, we'll help you transform your workforce culture from one that might be underperforming, maybe mediocre, to achieving amazing business results. You see, we realize that your workforce culture is equally as important as your business plan and your business strategy. The two must be aligned in order for you to reach your desired business and financial goals.
Carol,
hey Jim.
I just got this plan that could really help with our process here.
Okay, why don't you just have a seat and let's go over it.
Let us help you transform your workforce culture by leveraging your most important assets, your people. I want to know what's going on in your organization. Let us help you transform your workforce culture. Let's have a conversation.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by McDonald's. Kickstart your morning at McDonald's with any size freshly brewed hot McCafe coffee for just $1. Or try a refreshing McCafe iced coffee in any size for just $1.49. McDonald's McCafe coffee is the perfect way to start your day. Only at McDonald's for a limited time.
1250 winds weather center forecast. Will feel drier today. A lot of that humidity pushed out thanks to the front yesterday. Sunshine, a few scattered clouds, mid-70s for the high. Overnight lows, upper 50s. Next couple of days, a little bit of a warm-up, getting closer to those upper 70s. Look for more humidity. Then a nice Florida holiday weekend, low mid-80s Saturday, Sunday. Impact Radio 1250 winds.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Talking to Michael Parise. He is a life and spirit coach, and learn more at PariseCoaching.com. Again, Parise spelled Parise. Also author of the book Life Interrupted, Taking Charge After Everything Has Changed. And so, Michael, let's talk a little bit about that book. First off, availability is on your website. Where else can people find this book?
Yes, my website would have the link to Amazon.com where the book is being sold. Also in 70 other outlets for an ebook, and that's also available on my website.
Okay. And also a reminder, if you could use his services, pick up the phone and give him a call at 813-444-9641. Again, 813-444-9641. And let's talk about some of the takeaways. I listened to you speak last week, and you had, I believe it was like 5 points to kind of help you kind of get straight and narrow again on your path in life and kind of avoid some of those distractions. What tips can you share with the listeners with regard to kind of taking control of your life again after a change of some sort?
Yeah, the main reason I wrote the book was to help people, the ordinary person, in ordinary language, to discover within themselves the gifts that they've got already and the resources they have already that they probably aren't aware of or haven't utilized in the past a few months. And so the book really is a handbook, a spirituality book, and a self-help book, and it focuses on issues such as taking responsibility, your intuition, deepening your personal desire and discovering what those desires are, living in the moment, creating healthy boundaries, and intimacy and spirituality, and various things like that, which are going to help you eventually to move forward in your life. There are reflection questions after each chapter, and you can jump around the book the way you want to, according to what your need is at the particular time. I also try to stay away from a lot of psychobabble and stick with language that people are going to readily understand and grasp. So it's really an opportunity for people who have undergone any change whatsoever to jumpstart their lives and to begin taking care of themselves. I find so many people feel victimized by, you name it, by their boss or by their job that they just lost, by a divorce that they just experienced, by a death, by an illness. And instead of being victimized, I'm advocating that each person can become their own knight in shining armor and rescue themselves, and this book helps them do that.
And I remember taking away from your speech, last week that it's okay to say no. It's okay to express yourself when somebody does something to you that is not appropriate or maybe misinterpreted, or how they're delivering it and how it makes you feel. Talk to us a little bit about that speech that you gave and some of the tips that you shared with us on, taking back yourself.
Yes, the focus was on strengthening your own personal boundaries and recognizing when those boundaries are crossed and the values that we have that have been violated in some way. And when we recognize that has happened, we then need to step back for a minute, take a deep breath, and kind of analyze what has gone on. Get the emotions off to the side, scream and yell all you want about it, but get back to what happened? How did I respond? How could I have responded better? And what can I do to make sure this doesn't happen again? And then rehearse some scenarios of saying really out loud, it was not okay that so-and-so did such and such or said such and such. Next time, I am going to say what my limitations are, what I feel is violating my boundary. That's really the start of taking care of yourself. And it doesn't make any difference what situation it is, whether it's a personal or a professional situation. Obviously, in the professional field, in business, you've got to be careful how you say it and to whom you say it. Therefore, my advice is always to do it at home with a friend or with yourself, or with God, or however you want to do it, but do it privately so that you can hear what it sounds like and then refine it for the situation that you're going to be in, be it your manager, an HR personnel person, or somebody else in a colleague, for example.
When did you write the book, and what inspired you to write the book? We talk about the power of writing a book and how it helps business a lot of times on this program, and so give some inspiration to people out there about just writing the book and how it's helped you in your business.
Yes, I self-published this book. It just came out in November, and it took me a couple of years to write it. It took me even longer for it to percolate in my mind. I had started wanting to write more of an autobiography, and there are autobiographical pieces in this book which are really good for illustration. But then I realized my life is not as fascinating to everybody else as it is to me. So I had some good editors who really focused me on where I shined the most, and it was in giving advice and offering a clear outline chapter by chapter of what needs to be done in people's lives and how they can accomplish it themselves. And so I'm using this book in my talks, and I'm always looking for opportunities to speak with groups. I love speaking with groups, small as 2 or as large as 500, I don't care, to really offer good value and a very practical kind of presentation to groups of professionals and others who are really looking to move forward in their lives, or who just need a lunch and learn opportunity or a keynote opportunity. I'll be happy to come and use this book not so much to sell it, but use it as a jumping off point for whatever topic is good for the group.
And what I think is great about your book is, so many people are writing books today, and they think, it's a great way, I'll become an expert in my field, and let me get out there. But it's also, yes, it's great to write a book, and it's great to become an expert in your field, but it's also great to have 32 years behind you.
Yes.
And have something for that this book comes from and experience. So I think there is a lot that we can all learn from you. I think we can all learn from each other. But you have a great message, and I think it's portrayed in your book, and I look forward to reading it further. But
thank you.
But no, it's great.
No, thank you, Kelly. This is my wisdom. We all have genius, by the way. We say so and so is a genius. That's not the way we should talk about having a genius. We have genius. Everybody who does their work well has genius in the way they do it. they also have wisdom. They grow in wisdom as time goes on if we're conscious. And I really believe this book offers the wisdom from almost 40 years of experience working with people and dealing with real problems.
Well, and where I think it really touched with my life is not just in my business world, but because I'm still a personal person. I mean, we're human, right? So, and I'm a mother, and we're human. So I immediately was able to take some of what you might have even used as business references that, if, I thought of, me and my daughter or home life, but we all are overwhelmed, especially most of us, a part of the show or listening are small business owners and entrepreneurs that take on way too much. For the past so many years, I've averaged over 116 hours a week. I love how you, and recently sitting down with some business advisors and friends of mine that care, they're like, Kelly, you need to slow down. Who are you trying to prove it? And, who are you trying to prove it to? But, separating what's personal, what you're doing in your life that's business, and looking at those and grading those, and then really finding out, what are you doing for you? Like, how is it beneficial for you? And so it's, what you've talked about recently, or what you go over in the book, is what people have been harping on with me kind of to do. So you bring that full force right out in front. So I think it's great.
Now, do you still incorporate the teachings of the Bible in your business and your life coaching business? And how would you describe your relationship with God today, having left the priesthood?
I do not incorporate teachings of the Bible per se. There are obviously ethical and moral issues that people may bring up in their coaching, and I'll address them according to that person's desire and need. I see myself as having moved beyond organized religious boundaries, and I embrace all spiritualities, all opportunities for people to transcend and to develop their whatever relationship with the higher power they have in their life. And so I take people where they're at. I use, obviously, my own spiritual background, but only as a background. I need to hear what the other person's experience of spirit is. And it can be very different from mine. I respect that, and I help them to move forward in the way they want to move forward. So that it's a very non-judgmental relationship I form with people, and one that is based on a balance and a respect, so that the other person, my clients and my audience, always know that I love them as they are, and that ultimately is what God is all about.
I think you have an amazing story, and I've struggled with spirituality my entire life, so I like to kind of ask those types of questions. I've always said I'm an atheist, but I've come to shift later in my life and believe in a higher power. I've just always had problems with organized religions and the teachings of the Bible. I believe it was kind of thrust upon society as kind of a primary force of law to keep us in order, but a lot of the stuff that's taught, I think, is more scare tactics than it is reality. Absolutely. I definitely believe in higher forces of existence. And so I can see you shaking your head if you would kind of touch on that for me.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Too much. My next little project is going to be something having to do with spiritual abuse, starting with parents and what parents impose upon children in the hope that they're going to learn something about God and move and be moral people. But unfortunately, scare tactics are used. Threats are used. God as the big judge in the sky is used. The church as the doorkeeper to heaven is used. All these things are not what I see as ever having been part of the core message of Jesus Christ. And that's my reference point, or of the Buddha for that matter, so that I really get away from the concept that religion in and of itself comes first. What comes first is our relationship with spirit. Then religion gives it structure and must serve the need of the individual, not the other way around.
Good discussion again. Currently talking to Michael Parise, life and spirit coach, and learn more about him at his website, parisecoaching.com, or give him a call if you could use his services, 813-444-9641. Again, 813-444-9641. Stay tuned. When we come back from the break, he's got a special gift for our listeners out there, so stay tuned for that offer on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Are you you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
A number of lanes blocked at Dale Mabry and Waters due to a crash investigation. Specifically, the northbound lanes are blocked. You'll have to slide over and use Himes to get around this area. And if you're on Waters, best to avoid this intersection as well. Westbound I-4, slow approaching downtown Tampa. Northbound onto 275 off the Howard Franklin Bridge. Just a bit of a delay there. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough. Traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Think It Up.
Hi, I'm Nick Jonas, and I'm here to tell you about Think It Up, a new initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join us at thinkitup.org.
Today, mostly cloudy with lower humidity, high 76. Tonight, cooler, low 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and pleasant with a high 75.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Talking with Michael Parise, life and spirit coach. Learn more at PariseCoaching.com. And be sure to pick up a copy of his book, Life Interrupted, Taking Charge After Everything Has Changed. And Michael, you have a special offer for our listeners?
Yes, Jamie, I would love to offer your listeners, whether they're listening live or later on, one complimentary coaching session with me to be coached on any subject they want to with no obligation. All they need to do is contact me to book this complimentary session. It would be about 45 to 50 minutes long on the phone. And they need to contact me either through my email, michaelparisi@gmail.com, all one word, or call me up at 813-444-9641, and I'd be happy to book that. But you need to call between now and Christmas.
All right. And your niche business, again, as a life coach, but you work with a specific group or specific type of person who has an issue. Let's go through that again, your niche clients.
Yes. I help busy professionals and executives who are drowning in responsibilities at home and at work, or who have undergone change that is with which they're struggling in their life or in their work situation.
All right. And do you get into the business coaching side of things too, or do you mostly stick with what's going on in their personal life?
Yes, I work with them in their personal life and how it has an impact in their business. And of course, when your personal life is straightened out, you make lots of money in your business because your business is better.
Do you think so many people are struggling in business because of unspoken personal issues that they can't get past? I often think that I hold myself back sometimes. I just can't figure out how to fix it sometimes.
Right. It's absolutely. 99% of business issues and struggles has to do with our perspective, our personal life, memory we have, the situations from our past that are coloring how we're dealing with the present, as well as the relationships we formed in the past that are triggering negative responses with our relationships in business.
And what are your future plans for your business? Where are you headed in life?
Well, my future plan, my future desire is to be asked to speak and to offer opportunities with speaking engagements all around the Tampa Bay area and beyond. That is really my focus. Also, I have another couple of books in my head, which I won't talk about right now, but I would love to be writing some more. And I most enjoy having one-on-one client relationships in my coaching practice.
We got about a few minutes left, and we're talking during the break, and this is the types of discussions I love to have because I am so scientifically based, and I also try to incorporate that with religion and spirituality. But you spent 32 years in the priesthood, so I'm comfortable asking you this question. What is God?
What is God?
Oh, wow. That's a big one.
That's a big one, yes. Even Oprah can't answer that one. So all I'm going to say is that God is much bigger than any of us can possibly imagine or have been able to imagine since the beginning of humankind. God is so huge a concept that we are going to be surprised when we experience whatever or whoever God ends up being. So we can't wrap our brains around it. But God ultimately, as Jesus says, is love. And so if we start with our experience of true sacrificial and unconditional love, that becomes the basis for an experience of God. And ultimately, God is in us. We are God's presence. All creation is God's presence. So that when we have respect for the environment, respect for the animal kingdoms, and respect for one another, we are ultimately connecting with God. And that is what God was all about, and that's what the incarnation of Jesus is all about at Christmas time.
Yeah, we need more love and unconditional love, I think, in the world today. And when you said that God is in all of us, that's immediately what I think of: unconditional love and support.
I believe, and you mentioned it too in passing there during the discussion, that there's a collective consciousness, a collective or subconscious that exists. We're all connected in some way, and I think it's the culmination of all of our souls that encompass God. I think each of us pull from this central life source that we cannot and we're not able to understand.
Absolutely.
We're in a 3 or a 4-dimensional space. We're not allowed to understand
And
those
that
things.
is good Catholic theology, what you just said. So this is not something weird that someone's coming up with. This is good Catholic theology. And I'm not pushing Catholic theologies. There's so many of them. But I am saying that it's beyond us.
Yeah, and especially as I love physics, I love studying quantum theory, and it really makes you start to question, the teachings of the Bible, because there's just so much complication out there. But there is something out there that has created this or that guides us, and I think it's all of us combined. And so you're saying it's safe I could return to church, and, because I don't go to church because of all the scare taxes or things that don't make sense to me. I left it for that reason, but I do believe in a higher power.
If you want to go back to church and it's your desire, go back and go to talk to God or experience God however you experience God.
You can talk to him in the car when you leave here today.
And
you don't necessarily have to be in a church.
And filter out what you have to filter out. And sometimes I'd be sitting as the priest thinking about what I was going to have for lunch.
Yeah, and I think it's okay not to really understand everything and not to have all the answers. I don't think that we need them all necessarily. I think we have to have hope and faith and
that's a realization I came to probably just within the last 15 years, because I remember I was a kid. I was like, I'm an atheist. There's no such thing as gods or higher powers.
I do not like when you say that.
But no, I morphed though. I believe in a higher collective conscious, and I believe there's a lot more to our reality than what we can ever really understand in our 3-dimensional bodies. There's so much more out there.
I respect atheists as well for where they're at in their lives and what they believe or not believe. It's ultimately religion should be about radical freedom at the core of our lives, and giving us that freedom to love unconditionally and accept one another fully as human beings with the diversity.
It's okay for us may not to like something, but we have to respect everyone's opinion, right? Of course. So,
a good discussion. Michael Parise, life and spirit coach. Thank you so much for being in studio today.
Thank you, Jamie and Kelly.
Absolutely.
You.
And if you could use his services, again, 813-444-9641, 813-444-9641, or visit parisecoaching.com. That's spelled Parise, parisecoaching.com. And be sure to look out for his book, Life Interrupted, Taking Charge After Everything Has Changed. Learn more about this program at tampabayradio.com, and to come onto the program, visit tbsinterview.com for more information. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.